Hello and welcome to Green and Gold Radio. I'm your host, William Plavin Masters. Here with our first segment this time, Mr. Barrett. How are you doing?
I'm doing great today. It's a Friday. We're back to school. It's fall. I'm a happy man.
Yes. So we came in here rather early this morning, so sorry about that, guys. Mr. Barrett, what's our cool Bible fact for the day?
Oh, let's get after it. Well, first off, the Bible is a book, and yet it's a collection of books. 73 books written by many different authors in various times and various places with different audiences in mind and different literary styles in mind. So when we see a Bible, we have to be attentive that we're really opening up a library. And I think that the coolest part of that is that we're opened, and if we open ourselves when we read, we're opened up to new worlds and inclined to understand things and stories that we may have heard our whole lives, but in new ways.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a very profound statement.
Hey,
so this is a new format for the podcast, I guess. This time we're having two people on at the same time, so it's kind of an open conversation if you guys like. Up next, we're going to have Mr. Pappas. How are you doing this morning, Mr. Pappas?
Doing wonderful, William. Great to be here.
So, Mr. Pappas, for those of our listeners that don't know you, what do you do at St. Edward's?
So I am a science teacher. I am a biology teacher. I teach physical science as well. I also coach football at St. Ed's.
Yeah. So you're the defensive coordinator, right?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So you recently dominated Ignatius, the news on everyone's mind, right?
Well, it was the kids. The kids played hard. Play hard, but our ultimate goal. We're pursuing our ultimate goal. It's on to the next game, one day at a time, and that was a great victory.
Yeah.
But, we still have an ultimate goal out there. So
right. So what was your strategy though going into that game? I mean, they did not score a point against any of the teams.
Our hat goes off to that program. We have a tremendous amount of respect, but it was just our day that day. The ball bounced our way, and the strategy was. They do have a new quarterback. So,
yeah.
And he did a great job. His name's Jackson French. So we weren't really sure that they might have a new play caller out over there. So it was a lot of just gauging. What is their brand? What is their style going to be in 2020? And just adjusting on the fly. But the kids did a great job forcing takeaways and keeping them out of the end zone.
Yeah. That plan worked perfectly. So what was your outlook going into this season as the defensive coordinator to maximize your defensive effectiveness on the field?
Yeah, so every year we do a lot of research. We do a lot of self-scout. We analyze ourselves, essentially audit ourselves, and then we research pretty hard. What's the best way to put our kids in a position to be successful. And one thing at St. Ed's is we have a lot of tremendous resources. The colleges we've developed friendships with these guys, whether it's Michigan State or Ohio State. And we even have one of our dear friends, Brandon Staley, who's now the defensive coordinator at the LA Rams. Yeah. These guys have been great to us. I can go on and on. the Akron program, but we learn these little golden nuggets, and we try to implement them into our program and put the kids in the best position to win.
Yeah, I remember being in your biology class, and these college men in black type people came in with their sunglasses and their branded coats, and they came in, and the whole class just went quiet, and you guys were just drawing up plays on the board and trying to cover it up so that no one saw.
Oh, yeah.
It was the greatest. That was so great.
The memory eraser.
Yeah.
I had the Men in Black shout
out. So have any specific players been crucial to your game plan this year?
Well, C.J. Hankins is a 3-year starter at the Mike linebacker, so that's the heart of the defense is the Mike linebacker, and so that's been huge. I mean, he started in the state championship game as a sophomore, so having him back is big, and I'm just really proud of our seniors. I'm really proud of our seniors, the way that they've handled this whole COVID-19, and they've worked so hard. So as a group, all the seniors collectively, I'm very proud of.
Yeah. So how have you come into this season so hot after taking so much time off during quarantine?
Yeah, well, first of all, it's worth recognizing the administration. The administration laid out a tremendous plan for us to keep it safe. The kids get temperature checked. They wash their hands right away. The social distancing, the masks, and it's kept us healthy, which has allowed us to practice, and that practice has given us an edge. So hats off to the administration. They definitely deserve recognition for that. But it's just a compliment to the kids, the way they've handled it. These guys love challenges, and one of the challenges was how do we become the best team possible given these circumstances, and they've really attacked it.
Yeah. It's interesting to see how much kids want it, how much they really want to get back to their academics or want their football after being away from it for so long, They complain and complain and complain, and me included, until it's gone,
Absolutely. There's just something primal, something right about working and interacting and socializing. So it was very unnatural for us to have experienced that. But we're back. We're getting after it. So
yeah,
it's good stuff.
So how has the football team as a whole avoided the spread of COVID since football is such a heavily contact-based sport?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great question. So, once again, it goes back to we have some safety measures in place, and the kids, these guys are committed. If you have a symptom or if you're not feeling good, you stay home because we don't play around with it, and the kids have honored that. And once again, taking the temperatures upon arrival and washing their hands, that has definitely helped. But at the same time, too, you just don't know. You're reading the research on this, and some people are asymptomatic but have it, and some people are not. So we've just been lucky in that regard. We've been healthy, and we've just, once again, the administration has kept it safe for us.
Absolutely. On a more personal note, how have you kept yourself busy during quarantine?
Yeah, so, the one thing with the quarantine was I think it allowed maybe families to rebalance themselves. So there was an opportunity to spend more time with the family. Once again, a lot of reading, a lot of researching, football, trying to stay healthy, trying to exercise a little bit, but just stay busy, and stay positive.
Yeah, absolutely. So what was the moment for you that you fell in love with football?
Oh, that's a great question.
I remember all your stories in class and stuff,
Yeah, so I'd say football is probably my worst sport. I was involved with the sport, baseball, basketball, football, but I just loved it the most. And that's another thing too, these college coaches come in and they ask, when they're looking to give a kid a scholarship or recruit him, does he love the game?
Yeah.
Or is there something else he'd rather be doing? Would you rather be, running cross country? Would you rather be doing the band? Would you rather be playing basketball? Or does he love football? Does he love the game? And number two, is he competitive?
Right.
Will he compete every rep, every drill, every day? And I can honestly say that I wasn't the best football player, but I loved it the most. And it's just a calling.
Absolutely, it's that dedication,
Yes, sir.
So what would you say is your passion in life?
My passion in life, definitely my family is my passion in life, and just I love life. Like I love just growing, and I love developing. Whether it's jiu-jitsu or learning the next level of science, or learning the next or coaching the next team. So, first and foremost, family, and then I would just say the joy of developing, getting better,
Absolutely.
growing.
So how did you get involved in teaching, coaching, etc.?
Wow. So originally I was intending on pursuing a military career. I was pretty dead set on that. I went to college to play college football and get a degree, and then I was going to do it, but my father got very ill, and so it kind of postponed that. So I was staying home with him, and I just happened to be working out at my former high school, Elyria Catholic, and they were going through the football, and I kind of went over to the head coach, Dave McFarland, and I said, hey, coach, I'm going to be around for a little bit. If you need help, I'll volunteer. And he said, absolutely. How about the freshmen? So I said, yeah, freshmen. So I was a I was a freshman coach for one day. On the next day, he promoted me to varsity. And then the week after that, I was the assistant head football coach.
Wow.
But unfortunately, my father ended up passing away, and his dying wish was that I stay home and take care of my mother. And so I did that, and Elyria Catholic gave me a job, and then before you know it, St. Ed's hired a new head football coach, Scott Nedzwicki, who happened to be my defensive coordinator in college. And Coach Nedzwicki called me up and offered me the linebacker position at St. Ed's, and I took that. And I applied for the biology position, and they accepted me there, and we've never looked back. So I do believe God has a plan for you if you're a good person, and I believe this all happened for a reason, so I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful to be here.
Absolutely. It's kind of crazy how life takes you in so many different directions.
Yes, it really is.
Yeah. So what is the hardest part of your job?
The hardest part of my job is, as a teacher, your work comes home with you. And as a coach, especially as a coordinator, your work comes home with you. Yeah. So just, it's you feel like if you do something, you go to you go to a family event or something that you fall behind. After an hour, you fall behind. And but I love it. I'd rather be working 80 hours a week than being home in the pandemic. And it goes back to there's just something primal about, like, something right about working. But that's just the hardest part. Is your work comes home with you in two different ways.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you played football in college. So what was your favorite moment from your time there?
You know what? I don't have a favorite moment. You just remember the brotherhood, I guess. You don't remember. I mean, you do remember specific plays, but collectively, just the team nature of it, and the brotherhood that comes out. And it's no different than now working at St. Ed's as a professional. Me and Mr. Barrett, like, it's just it's like, you're gonna remember the working with your coworkers and the camaraderie and things of that nature. So those are the best memories that come from it.
Absolutely. Do you remember this one time in biology class where you told the story of how there was this big kid on the other team, like 6'6"? Yeah, I was gonna bring this up.
Stories.
He was like 6'6". I forget what position he was at. I think he was an offensive lineman, and you just spearheaded him, and like thought you were in Star Wars or something.
Oh my God, I've had head trauma, unlike anything. My senior year, I was a little confused at practice, just doing your everyday hitting drills, and they took my helmet. They were asking me questions, and I was getting all the questions right, except there was one question that just blew my mind, and they said, okay, we think you're concussed, and I laughed, and I said, if this is a concussion, then I've had 80 of them, but yeah, I've thought I was in Star Wars movies. There's been hits where the only color I could see was green, like everything was green, and I thought, geez, oh man, the whole world's green. I'll never see color again. And then the next morning I woke up and saw color again. But yeah, there's a lot now in this day now, this day and age. Now, that was my era. It's different now. So if any kid has a head or neck or even says, hey, he's looking, go see the trainer, because that's somebody's son. It's not about just sticking it through. That was my era, and but now, as a parent and as a coach, it's a little different dynamic. So
yeah,
just want to make sure.
Yeah, make sure that no one only sees one color.
Yes.
So you've been at St. Ed's how many years now?
I want to say 15.
Wow.
Yeah, Mr. Barrett was in my class.
Yeah.
Mr. Barrett was a top guy in my class, by the way.
Thanks, Coach. Yeah, sophomore biology.
That's amazing.
When St. Ed's landed him, I was stoked.
Yeah.
Yes.
Stop it. That's awesome.
We're lucky.
So
mutual.
What is your favorite memory from your time here at St. Ed's? Or like favorite class or, something like that.
Yeah, God, so many good memories. And once again, I don't know if I have specifics from the football end. Obviously, state championships and beating your rival, those are major. But just being around the people, I really, the one guarantee I can give a kid that's coming to St. Ed's is that you will be surrounded by great people. And every day we come to work, we're surrounded by great people, as an adult, whether it's Mr. Barrett or Coach Urbis or whoever it may be, Mr. Kubaki. And that's just, those are the memories. That's the joy of being here. So I don't have a specific memory or story. I have lots of stories, but just in general, the people.
Yeah. So what's your message going away for our listeners at home?
The message?
Yeah, what's your message, your outlook on this whole situation?
Of COVID or just life in general?
Life in general.
There is no tomorrow. There really is no tomorrow. And so you better be given everything you've got every single day. Because if you go up there and, how can you look at the Almighty and say, you know what, I wasn't reaching my full potential. I didn't go as hard as I could today. So there is no tomorrow.
Especially in 2020.
Especially in 2020. Jeez almighty.
If there's any year the world's going to end, it's going to be this year.
Oh, boy, isn't that the truth? But, yeah, there is no tomorrow. Control what you can control. Effort, toughness, and knowing your assignment. And that's my message.
Absolutely. Any shout-outs, players, family?
No shout-outs.
No shout-outs.
I'll leave too many people out. But
all right. Thank you so much for being on today.
Thank you, William.
Yeah.
Great job.
This has been Green and Gold Radio. I'm your host, William Plavin Masters, signing off. Now